Let's talk about South Park: The Stick of Truth.
This game was awesome. Seriously, I mean, how many times did we talk about this last year? Like, it was brought up in multiple episodes.
It got delayed multiple times as well.
It did get delayed multiple times. It was worth the hype and worth the wait, in my humble opinion.
What was awesome about it was that it was short and the gameplay was super simple, so anybody could play it. You didn't have to be like a big RPG fan to get it. It was like totally accessible for anybody.
There's like lots of it kind of like mocked Skyrim. It had like lots of kind of like, I guess, Easter eggs, I guess you could say, like little hidden
Easter eggs.
things, just like, you know, if you were a fan of the show, like just it encompassed like every season of the show, which was kind of cool.
There's Chin Pokemon to collect.
Yeah, I know.
Need to find all of them. Can't wait to find
Pokemon.
all of them.
It's
The intro video looked like He-Man.
actually, correction on that.
No.
It's
The Hobbit?
It's supposed to be Ralph Bakshi's animated version of Lord of the Rings.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Was it the same?
Jeff,
as the
Jeff,
Hobbit?
Jeff with the facts.
Wasn't that the same? The Hobbit.
No,
they
it was
had
a
the
different.
Hobbit.
It was a
Was
different person.
one?
Yeah, no,
It
there-
wasn't the guy who did the dragons. Remember dragons?
No,
I'm even nerdy.
that's before everybody's time. Sorry.
Yeah, these were like 1977.
No, but it was. Yeah, the intro got me sucked into it right away. Right when I saw the intro, I was like, oh,
No.
this Lord of the Rings movie done in South Park style. This is the best. And it was.
I mean, it was awesome how it looked like the show, but question, I mean, I guess this is kind of important. Did you guys join Kyle or Cartman?
Cartman.
Oh, I joined Kyle.
Wow.
What are you,
Look at
what are you
that.
gonna do?
Great reaction.
exciting stuff.
This game.
Action packed.
I don't know. What do you guys think about this?
Well, I have a question because you finished it. So what is I'm not done with it yet, but
Okay.
I plan on finishing it because I love
Good.
it, obviously. But I'm wondering, in your opinion, what do you think the replay value of the game is? I guess.
Well,
Doesn't seem
I
like
don't,
there's
I don't
much.
think there's any
Because I
replay
feel
value
like- Yeah,
to
I mean,
it.
there
I don't
is
know.
replay
Like that's how I am
I
with
mean,
RPGs.
other than just enjoying the game and enjoying the show.
But
I mean, in terms of story, I'm sure that's gonna be the same. But
Right.
there's tons of stuff to collect and tons of,
yeah,
secret stuff.
there's collectibles to find. I don't think there's really much for alternative dialogue or mission paths. I feel like if you switch it up, who's your second character in your party, it may switch up the dialogue a little bit. But the way I look at it is, I mean, when I finished this game, it was 15 hours. I definitely wanted to play more, but at the same time, it left me wanting more. I didn't feel like there was any filler. To me, it was like watching a season of South Park.
Oh yeah.
Which
Was
is
it
awesome.
funny?
It was hilarious.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Better. I mean, it's a comedy TV show.
Oh,
I mean, it's if you're familiar with South Park, you should know what to expect.
Trey Park
Yeah.
and Matt
Very
Stone
offensive,
helped write it, so I
It
mean,
seemed
you're gonna.
completely authentic to the show.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Involved.
and it's like Nick was saying, it's like a simplified RPG, but there's enough customization where you can mix up. You can try the different classes and try a few of the different skills that are
So
available.
let's talk about the classes. There are 4 classes in this
And
game,
they
right?
don't
I
Yes.
noticed.
There's Warrior, Thief,
Fighter.
Fighter,
And
and
Jew.
Jew.
Yeah.
No,
highly
no, it was
correct
warrior,
in political
thief,
terms.
mage, and yes, Jew.
Yeah, and it's
So what
Wait,
were the
did
abilities
any-
that the Jewish guy
Yeah, did
gets?
anyone
pretty much
play
the abilities,
as
you just get
Jew?
different,
Of course he did.
attacks,
I played as the
Yeah.
Jew.
What
Yeah,
did you
of course.
think?
your
It was
attacks
awesome.
are slightly different, but
I saw that and I thought, so what I think would be funny would be to kind of, for reparations, as it were, you could have the Jewish guy be secretly, if you knew how to use him, the most powerful character. But I don't think they got that involved
No, it's
because it is South Park and
But
they're just
that-
going to make a cheese ball.
That's what it
thing
was so
on it.
awesome about. They kept everything super simple, gameplay and things like that. And they really focused on the
Yeah.
comedy aspect
Yeah,
of it.
to me it was almost like a combination of Mario RPG and if anyone's played them, the Penny Arcade
Yeah, I played some
role-playing
of those.
games that
Yeah,
came
I
out a few
played
years
Yeah,
ago.
actually, now you mention it, it is a lot sort of flashy like that, where it's just sort of 2D and walking through a painted scene. Sort of.
Right.
Yeah, it was very RPG light, correct? Like it wasn't a full blown RPG.
I can see how you say Mario RPG because it's you get a couple
Yeah.
of pennies. It's very real world sort of based RPG where it's
Yeah.
not,
I mean, it's
not a
you're
fantasy
LARPing.
realm at
Yeah,
all.
you're
Yeah, I mean, that's
LARPing.
like the
That's
charm of it too.
well, you start out as you're LARPing,
Yeah.
and then
Right.
Taco Bell tries to take over, but you gotta play the game to see the conclusion to that.
I like there was some product placement with like UPS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny. Like
Yeah,
in
it-
video games.
I
We
mean,
had a
it's
whole discussion
if,
about
if
that.
you see it in the show, it probably will appear at some point in the game. There's so many references.
The shake weight.
Just like all like the
Shake
little
weight.
items that like
Shake
don't
weight.
really matter. They're just like junk that you can sell to make money, and there's like so many things from like the show. I mean, even just like characters, like one of the collectibles are like all the chimp Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
Like that's like
Those I
so
don't
early
know.
on in the show, and like they incorporate it in the game, which is kind of cool.
If you look in one of their closets, you can see like a lot of the characters, you can look in their closet to see what's in there. Like someone had like one of the characters, it was like Kenny or it might have been Stan. They had their finger bang visor, just like kind of
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
up in the back. I thought that
Nice.
was pretty funny.
There was a ton of that. Like
Yeah.
all the guys that had closets, or there were other ones that had like Butters has his drum set in his garage and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole bunch of stuff like that.
So what is the usefulness of pooping?
You can hurl it at your enemies. To hurl
Oh,
them
because
Yeah.
I noticed
Yeah.
that early on, like,
Pooping and farting.
you could poop
Yeah.
in a
For,
toilet
like,
and
fart
then
bombs.
take it.
So many
people.
parts. In this.
Yeah,
As you do.
You poop. You collect the poop, and you can throw the poop on your enemies to gross them out.
Yeah.
Which in this game's
Sort of like a
version of
dazed move. You
No,
know?
it's-
and all
actually-
the
it's
magic
a
is
poison.
farting. All
Yeah.
the magic
Poison.
is farting.
Okay, right. So
Yeah.
it has the lingering health
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
detraction.
They get a little smelly
That's funny.
waves
So
around
many
them.
turns. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny.
it's something else.
Kenny's
I
a
hope
girl
they make-
in the game.
Yeah, he
Kenny
is.
is a girl. I like that Butters is there from the beginning, basically.
Oh yeah.
Butters is like definitely one of my favorite characters in the show. So
Who's
I was
who
glad.
so far? Who's everybody's favorite partner in the game? Because you can switch between a few of the
I
characters.
always use Butters like for
Butters.
everything.
Jimmy.
Jimmy, yeah.
I never
Not
really
there
used
yet.
Jimmy for anything.
Dude, Jimmy
Not
rules.
there yet.
I
Like, and let's just talk about like the cutscenes with Jimmy. Like we were talking about like just like you sat through the whole thing.
you just sit there. You gotta play it to
Yeah.
watch it. But if you know Jimmy's speech patterns, you'll probably get where it's going. I just sat through it.
Let's just say there's no achievements.
No, there was no achievements for sitting through that. So when the skip button pops up, don't feel bad if you use it.
You
So
eventually
Wait, Jeff, I have a question for you. So I didn't get a chance to play the game yet. Now my question to you, and I'm directing this to you since you seem very excited about this game,
Mm-hmm.
is Randy Marsh a playable character?
He's not a playable
No.
character, but if you're a Randy Marsh fan, which I am, you get your fill. And
All right, good.
he does too.
That's really that's really like
No
that's
spoilers.
that's like a make it or break it type thing
Oh,
for me about the game.
No,
So
I mean, Tom, you're a South Park fan, right? You enjoy
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean, if
of
you
course.
like the stuff with Randy and like, I mean, it's good. It's some of the best South Park content, and I'm a fan of the show up to present. I still enjoy the new episodes. This is some of the best stuff they've put out in a while, though. I like the past few seasons. I think this game is better than those past few seasons, though, and it is kind of its own standalone thing, which is awesome.
right. Does Randy produce any ectoplasm?
There is ectoplasm in the game.
There is.
yeah,
It's not Randy Marsh ectoplasm, though.
All right, good. Sounds like I gotta get it.
I mean, for me, like South Park, I never really watched the show, but it's one of those things like when I do watch it, I always think it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like I really follow, and like the game is just like that. Like it's awesome. It's really hard to not like this game.
It was good. I mean, I couldn't put it down. I mean, it wasn't the longest game. I played through it in like 2 days, and I enjoyed like every single bit of it. There was no downtime. Nothing that felt like filler.
You took work off for this, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did take work off for this, and it was
Dedicated.
fabulous.
See, when it first ended, I was like, oh, I want more. But then thinking about it now, it's like I think it was to me the perfect length. Like I don't think if they added too much.
Would it
I
have
think
gotten boring if it was much more of a game and it
I
just
don't-
would have kept
you
going?
know,
And you're like, oh yeah. it's
That's
getting
hard to
repetitive.
say.
Maybe. I
Or
mean, you
could
could go either
could
way.
You do
but-
installments later. You would have like follow-ups.
I mean, if
Or
they,
is it a final end? Is it?
it's a
really
pretty
just
final end, but it's
Okay.
South Park. They could easily do like an episode that takes place after. If they do any DLC or if they do a sequel, I will definitely be playing with it because honestly, there was like no disappointment in this game for me.
The only thing I had trouble with were the QTE segments. We had to like control.
Yeah, those felt a little forced. at
Those
times.
were kind of awkward, and I was like,
Yeah.
"There's no." I guess that's my only complaint about the game was like, I wish they made them more simpler. I don't know.
I mean, they were pretty simple, but for
Well,
whatever
like,
reason,
when,
like, they kind of like broke up the game in a weird
Yeah,
way.
something about them, like it was like I don't know. I wasn't getting them at first. It took me a while to like to figure out like how to control it. But once I did, they were pretty easy.
I personally didn't have any problems, but I know QTs aren't for everybody. I think they had to put them in there though, because not only if you watch South Park, if you pay attention at all, it's very satirical and it's always a parody of what's currently going on. And a lot of video games use the QTs now, especially like God of War.
They're
those-
definitely overused.
Yeah, they're used a lot. So I feel like they had to put them in there, and the way I looked at it is everything they did was some sort of satire, so even forcing stuff like that. And I didn't feel like they got like overly obnoxious or anything, but it was, yeah, I mean, they're not for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so then overall, I'm going to go ahead and say that it's safe to say this is probably the defining South Park game. Because there have been a couple other ones, right?
Well, my
And-
favorite
And
ones.
the
was
N64 one.
those were my favorite ones.
That game
Really?
rules.
South Park
I don't know.
Pinball's
That was
awesome.
one of my
There
favorite
were
games for
South
64.
Park 64, South Park Chef's Love Shack, which was like a quiz type game, which I remember looked kind of like the show. I was impressed with that. It's not good.
It's
And-
sort of funny to think that South Park has been around that long.
Yeah.
I watched the first season, not all of it, some of it when it first came out, and I was like, oh, this show's crazy. But to know that the first game they did was on a Nintendo 64.
Oh yeah.
It's been around forever.
Or South Park Rally, the kart
racing
racing
game,
game, which was not good at all.
This
but
is definitely the best South Park game.
Oh,
And
by far.
I'd definitely like to see more games like in this like type of play style.
it's an awesome
Like,
game on itself, but just the fact that it's in South Park makes it better.
When we first started hearing about this, Matt and Trey had said that they weren't interested in doing another game ever again, unless they could get the the graphics and the visuals to match. And I think Obsidian pulled it off here, definitely.
Yeah, they
definitely.
And
definitely
you
did
can
it.
definitely see the results. And this is a product of, I mean, right here is a perfect example of like a video game made with a license and using the license properly, where they actually involved the people who made the original IP, and like, it's not just hiring it out to a group of developers to say, make a game based on this franchise, and
All right,
they
quick,
put it.
make a shitty game.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those.
Capitalize on the popularity of this one.
Exactly, and this is an instance where it's like an actual like really good game, and South Park just adds to it, and it's awesome. I mean, I can't really say it
No, you
enough, but
can't.
it's really good.
All right, then let's put up our scorecard. What are we going to say on this, guys? South Park: The Stick of Truth is a must-buy.
must buy.
Must buy,
Definitely.
definitely.
Yep.
So there you go, guys. That's South Park: The Stick of Truth.
To Pokemon!